Identification has taken place.
A man from West Norfolk has been jailed for 12 years after trying to kill his brother-in-law in a dispute over a car. 55-year-old Robert Whitby from Kings Lynn admitted attempted murder. Norwich Crown Court was told how he fired a flare which set fire to his sister's house in the village of Middleton. He then used his car to run over his brother-in-law, fracturing his ribs.
Now, there have been calls for nudity to be banned at one of the region's most famous beaches. The call's been made by a group on the social networking site Facebook after reports of lewd behaviour and nudity at Holkham Bay in North Norfolk. Norfolk police have confirmed they're investigating the current allegations. Similar incidents were reported there last year. Now, today's been a very significant one for a brave little girl in Essex.
For the past few months, 6-year-old Daisy Palmer from Brentwood has been having treatment for a rare illness at a London hospital.
Daisy can't eat or drink, but today she returned home where her parents will provide the constant care she needs. Malcolm Robertson has this report now.
This has been her home for the past 6 months, but today Daisy's dad and sister Megan helped take down the pictures that have brightened up her life in the Royal London Hospital. While this was going on, her mum Tracy was getting useful advice from nursing staff.
180 lozenges Damon's got. Ranitidine.
Daisy Palmer suffers from pseudo-obstruction disorder, an intestinal illness which means she can't eat or drink. Instead, she has to rely on fluids being fed intravenously until a cure is found. She's proved a real hit with the staff, but is desperate to return to her home near Brentwood.
You miss your home and you miss your bed. And you miss everything at your home.
As a way of saying thank you, Daisy presented hospital staff with a box of goodies.
I think it's going to be really sad not having Daisy around for us because she's such a lovely character to have on the ward as well as her family, but it's obviously really good for her to be going home after 6 months solidly being in hospital and hopefully get things back to normality for her and the family.
For Daisy's mum, there was an emotional farewell to the staff who'd taken such good care of her daughter. Her gratitude was clearly evident. Balloons decorated the house she hadn't seen for 6 months. There was no disguising her delight at being home. And no prizes for guessing what she wants to do first.
Play with my T-set and teddies and mum and dad and my sister.
Her parents will have to feed her intravenously at home. They just hope Daisy's illness will make people more aware of it and increase the amount of research.
If you look at Daisy, you'd think there was nothing wrong with her. If you actually saw the tubes and wires that are underneath her clothes, it's quite frightening, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
They look so normal, but their insides just don't function, do they?
No, that's the hardest thing when people see her, and she looks so well, and we know that that's not the story. She's very unwell.
Daisy was making up for lost time by making tea. Then later this month it's off to Devon for a very well-deserved family holiday. Malcolm Robertson, Anglia News.
Yeah, it's just great to see her at home, isn't it? Now, it is 12 minutes past. A pub landlord has pleaded not guilty to murdering his partner after her body was found in a freezer. Michael Tucker, who's the landlord of the Compasses Inn at Snetsham in West Norfolk, is charged with killing landlady Rebecca Thorpe. He was arrested after her body was found in a freezer in an outbuilding at the pub in March. She'd been shot in the head. Mr Tucker denied murder at a hearing at Norwich Crown Court this morning. His trial is due to start in December.
Southend United have avoided the threat of administration just 5 days before the start of the new Football League season. The club was due to reappear at the High Court over an outstanding tax bill of more than £250,000. But that's now been settled under a 12-month partnership between Southend and supermarket giant Sainsbury's. New manager Paul Surrock is now waiting for a transfer embargo to be lifted, with 14 players signed on pre-contract agreements.
Health bosses in Suffolk have launched a fresh drive to trim levels of obesity among school children.
Research has revealed 1 in 7 school children in Suffolk are obese, while levels in Ipswich are among the highest in the east of England, with just over a quarter of 10 and 11-year-olds being overweight. Serena Sandhu reports.
Promoting healthy eating and keeping active at the same time. The energy generated from cycling on this bike creates a nutritious smoothie. It's all part of the Change for Life initiative that aims to promote the benefits of living a healthy lifestyle. 12-year-old Josh Clancy was showcasing his footballing skills at the event in Ipswich, and there were Keep Fit events for the over 50s too. With levels of obesity in Ipswich being higher than the regional average, health bosses are determined to make a difference.
So we've been trying to work at that in Suffolk right across the board, working with our schools, working with our local businesses, finding any sort of practical, kind of fun ways, if you like, to get people to exercise more, know more about what they're eating, and giving them some really simple advice.
Frankie Foster is one pupil who's benefited.
We've changed food, exercise. Frankie exercised a lot more, she walks to school more, but because she had the positive help from them, she's carried on doing it.
It was hard at first, but when I got a bit used to it, it was a bit better.
15-year-old Louise Palmer also went on the Change for Life course and wants to encourage others to do the same.
Get out, do something, it's really fun. Like, I was an active person before, but it's even more fun to do extra stuff.
NHS Suffolk hope more people will follow the advice and get active to help drive down the county's obesity levels. Serena Sandhu, Anglia News.
5,000 scouts and guides are camping out at the Norfolk Showground this week for one of our region's largest jamborees. Youngsters between the ages of 10 and 18 have come from all over the world to take part in NorJam. As you can see, the weather isn't dampening their spirits and they're getting the chance to try their hand at all sorts of new skills.
It's one of the joys of guiding and scouting is the international experience and the chance to potentially go camping in a country abroad, to meet lots of people from lots of different cultures, and to just really enjoy that international aspect.
What a great event. Right, many of us have been asked for ID at some point when buying alcohol, but it's not something you'd probably expect by the time you're drawing your pension, is it?
No, but that is exactly what happened to 67-year-old Chris Page from Harlow. Lauren Carter has the story.
There was only one sort of drink being served up at the home of Chris Page. But Chris fancied something a bit stronger. The 67-year-old walked over to his local off-licence in the Stowe shopping parade in Harlow. He was hoping to buy a bottle of cider, but it didn't quite go to plan.
Took my bottle of cider up to the counter. The lady asked for proof of identity. I know that this shop has rules and regulations about age, so I gave them my bus pass to look at. And the lady behind the counter, to my surprise, said that wasn't sufficient.
In a statement, One Stop told us, "We are sorry for any inconvenience to customers. However, the store's licence, set out by the local authority, requires staff to ask for photo ID for all sales of alcohol. There is signage in store to inform customers."
It is a bit flattery, it's just, it's so damn silly rules and regulations, it's just annoying.
The store's alcohol policy has been in place for a number of years, and it's had a mixed reaction.
If it's a youngster and they don't know if they're 16, 17, 18, fine, but not somebody that's a mature person. It's ridiculous.
They outright refused to sell it to me, and I had to go across the other side of town to buy it, So great deal of inconvenience.
We don't have any problem showing any ID. I think it should be all over the place. It's a very, very good idea.
As for Chris, he says he's now only got two options: to find another off-licence or get used to drinking cups of tea. Lauren Carter, Anglia News, Harlow in Essex.